Hello everyone, and welcome back to another amazing trip in the world of Giorgio Armani core manufacturing. Today, we will take you in the heart of shoemaking, the Gao factory in Fosso, near Venice. This is where all the Giorgio Armani men and women's shoes come to life in a wonderful and inspiring process that, as you will see, is actually characterized by many exquisite handmade steps. But how is a shoe actually born? Do you guys have any idea? Well, just like for the ready-to-wear, the starting point is always the inspiration, the sketch, coming directly from the design office in Milan. Once the idea has been designed, the right mold is chosen on which we will then go and build our shoe on, the right last. The paper, as you can see, is placed by hand around the shoe last and is then hand-drawn directly on the mold itself. Once done, it is then hand-cut, detached, flattened, and transferred digitally for the creation of the upper on CAD, ready for the leather cutting. Consider the sole is often developed on a 3D base, especially when it comes to rich and complex constructions. The so-called structure office is in charge of projecting the lasts, and then of course the whole structure, fußbett, bottoms, heels. Basically, here is where there is a beginning of the prototyping process. But now, let's get into the heart of the production chain. This is where, from the model pattern, the shoe actually comes to life. First, the quality check of the material. The pieces of leather are carefully controlled and selected, choosing the best elements. Look at the attention with which manually every shade and detail in the leather is examined to reach perfection. After that, we now go into the cutting phase. Starting from the paper pattern, the leather is here manually cut and refined. The upper is hand-stitched, and then we are ready to move to the machines for the very first important shoemaking phase, the so-called pressing procedure. Here, the upper is basically placed on the last, centered, glued, fixed with needles entirely by hand. In the lady shoe, of course, this step involves also the positioning of eventual straps. As you can see, guys, the process requires a very careful manufacturing and involves many sophisticated procedures. After that, we go into the gluing phase. The craftsman here is signing and marking the sole manually in order to know exactly where to go and paste it. At this point, the upper is covered with glue, reactivated, and finally attached to the sole. It will then go into a specific pressing procedure that fixes the glue. Finally, the shoe is detached from its last and ready to be finished. The insole is inserted, sometimes manually overstitched. In some situations, actually, Swarovski rhinestones may be manually applied, as you can see in this example, one by one. Look at how fascinating this procedure may be. At the very end, of course, of the process, the shoes will be finalized and positioned in the dedicated luxury packaging with the same care and attention that characterizes every single step of this amazing procedure.